you've gotten in a little bit here now. How are you feeling? And especially after getting that power play goal, I imagine from that spot is somewhere you've been really trying at the NHL level to finally see that get in there.
Yeah, of course. It's something I worked on a lot, so it was nice to get that one in yesterday. Unfortunately, we couldn't win though, so it didn't matter that much.
But yes, I agree with that and I understand that. But also just like with how much you've worked, with how much you've scored from that spot on the power play at other levels, like does that help you at all knowing that like it finally goes in at the NHL level?
Yeah, of course. It's give you a confidence boost. See if you can do it at this level as well. So just continue to do it, all the time, and not just one time.
One of the things that Lindy has said is that he's really liked your compete level, the way you have your wall play. I know that you've worked a lot on that, but when you hear a coach recognize that and putting you out on the ice in those situations, what does that mean to you right now as you've been working towards this?
No, of course it means a lot. I'm fighting for my ice time out there, so just to try to take every shift like the last one and compete on everything.
Holtz, when the puck's coming and you're going through your follow through, is your head up trying to see and pick your corner, or as you're flowing through, is that when you kind of get your head up and decide where you want to kind of angle that puck? Because you mentioned to us last night you were thinking of blocker, but as you saw the player in the way, then you decided to switch the glove.
Yeah, it's usually different all the time. Like I said yesterday, I saw that their D was coming a little bit too much on the left side, so I was aiming on the right side. So.
And again, is that kind of all in one swooping motion, or do you kind of anticipate that this guy, you kind of see him in your peripheral vision?
Yeah, I see him a little bit, and then I just do a different kind of a thing with my follow through. It's hard to describe it.
Alex, are you different in any way from the guy who started in Philadelphia, started the season there? Have all these challenges and the work you put in made you somehow different, better?
I don't know. I would say I'm feeling stronger. It's hard to not play for a month, so you're going through a lot at that time. But of course, I love when the boys is winning, so I just want to be a part of that and gonna contribute to it. So I'm just ready to take the next step and help the team win.
What would the next step for you be?
Just continue to play good out there, help the team perform, so we can start winning games.
V, what's it like having Mackenzie here sitting out next to you again?
I mean, it's great, like Smitty sitting right there so I can talk to anybody, and then now I can talk to him because he taking the gear same time like me, so it's great.
What's it, your opinion on how he did out there on that first round? You know what it's like to come back from things.
Yeah, I mean, it's always hard, I hope he's feeling good, but he looks really good and sharp in the practice, so I think he's really in good shape.
What do you like about the idea of like that competition that's not just, you've got three guys out here now. Obviously Mackenzie still has a way to go, but what does that do for people?
I mean, it's good after the games, when you play, have three goalies and then you can change and then rest a little bit. But normally it's better to get two goalies, like you get your practice, you get your shots, and then get back on track.
Where do you feel your game is now? I know it's been out for a little bit. Just wonder where your mindset is and how you feel your game as well over the course of the first couple of months here.
I mean, it's really good. Actually, I feel really good. The team playing really good, so we lost yesterday, but I don't think we play a bad game, just the first period was a little bit tough, but we have to go back on the track and then win in the Philly.
Vitek, one of the things we've talked about on the TV broadcast a bunch is your competitive fire and intensity when you're playing out there. Off ice, you're such a nice, soft-spoken guy. Put me in your mindset, your headspace when you're in the crease.
I mean, I'm trying to think about the game, about myself. Just stay in the game consistently, and I mean that in New York was just a little bit pissed, he can go to my grease, so that's why I did that. But after that, I'm just trying to come back and then just play the game and then try be myself.
Woody, knowing that you weren't able to play yesterday, how difficult was it to sort of watch that game unravel, whether it's the way the first period happened or really right at that very end of the game? How emotionally challenging can that be?
After I was sent home, I took some pills, and I'm going to be real, I went to bed. I watched a little bit of the first period. It wasn't the sharpest. And we talked about our starts in the past, and it's just something that we just got to keep on harping on. I think we were down 2-0 against the Rangers quick, and then 2-0 against Nashville quick, and that can't happen. And we talked a lot about that today.
We've talked so much about it, so when does it become, this can't just be all talk anymore? We've got to execute on what we're talking about.
I think, now we're starting to get the message. After these last two games, I think frustration has kind of set in after being down 2-0 so early in the game. And I think it comes from within the room. The coaches can, harp on it and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, the players have got to execute it and want to improve on it. And, we have that type of group in here that wants to improve. And, I think tomorrow against Philadelphia is going to be, a great test in that aspect of our game.
How much do you sort of just remember that first game of the season in Philadelphia, the way it made everybody kind of feel, and knowing that you guys are a completely different group going in there now?
We are. We're a much more seasoned group, I guess you could say. And, they're a tough team. They play hard. They're a big team. They finish all their checks, and we'll be prepared for that.
How would you rate Brendan Smith as a forward coming in on your plays?
I think he played a little forward with New York, so it's probably not an ideal spot for him. But yeah, he's a very key part to this team. He's got a big voice in the room, and he's a great guy and just great all-around player. He can do both.
What is Brendan like on the bench? Because he doesn't always play the most minutes, but whenever I talk to anyone around here, he has a certain degree of value that maybe is not necessarily only seen on the ice.
Yeah, it's the type of value that, I think we lacked last year. We certainly had it with Greener and Trav and Palms here. To have that older veteran who's played, 10, 12 years in the league, speak up, and, we're all ears when he talks. And, he's seen a lot. He's played in a lot of games. He's played in a lot of playoff games. And, when he speaks, guys kind of straighten up. He's got a big voice.
Does it send a message too? I mean, he's a guy that obviously prefers to be on defense. But when the coaching staff comes to you and says, hey, we need you to play forward, he's a team-first guy, that's got to send a message around when a veteran's willing to do that, right?
Yeah, he's a very team-first, selfless guy. It's never about him. He's just an all-around great human being to be around and to have in this room.
Your first impressions of being able to have Mackenzie resume practice and, was able to participate in the full.
Yeah, just another step along the way. Obviously progressing nicely, and just going to evaluate this with each practice he gets.
Going into Philadelphia, obviously that was the first game of the year that you guys played. Talking to Miles, he said, we're a more seasoned group, we're a different group than we were then. Can you sort of talk about how far you've come since that opening game?
Well, when you look at some of the plays we gave up in that game, I think our puck management was loose. I had mentioned that through the preseason, our puck management was pretty good. The first game got away from us a little bit, but I think it's a game that we know. They're desperate. They're a desperate team, and it's going to be a hard game for us. Their goaltenders played really well, so it's going to be a difficult game going in that building.
Having Alex Holtz on the power play, scoring that first power play goal for him, I mean, what can that do? Because throughout his career at other levels, that's sort of been his bread and butter from there.
Yeah, and that's what we've talked about, that, that's kind of his position over there. Great shot. I thought he played well in the game, moved well, the pace was good, did a lot of good things. He managed the puck well, so scoring the power play goal is his specialty. His shot is the gift that he really has. So the more times we can get him the puck in that situation, the better off we'll be.
Obviously, when you give up the 2 goals of the Rangers, 2 goals last night, what's the message to the team? And Is there any fear that this could be a trend, or is this just kind of an anomaly that's sometimes that goes?
Again, we've talked about it. I think there's certain ways that we can operate to get ourselves off to a better start. I thought the Buffalo game, going into Buffalo, we played a really strong first period, and some of it is managing the puck. Some of it is trying to be a little bit more aggressive. I just thought we were just a little careless with the puck right off that opening face-off, and it cost us. And so puck play is really important if you want to get off to a good start.
What would you say about the response to some of these losses in terms of practice? Because it looked like every time it's been more intensity the next day. Have you seen that?
I really liked our practice today. I think the message is we're trying not to get too excited about the wins, but we're trying not to get too down about the losses. And as painful as that one was last night, you put it behind you. You focus in on Philly. We mentioned, a few drills were enable us to get better inside the game. We went through a couple plays in the game. We went through the 6-on-5 goal. I thought our focus, our intensity was real good for the practice.
You mentioned a hard game against a team like Philly, and they've been dropping the gloves a lot lately. They're going to play physical. How do you avoid, not getting drawn into some of that under the skin type of stuff and playing your style of hockey?
Well, again, we have to focus on our game. We can't do anything about their game. They're going to play how they're going to play, and we have to handle how they play, and they have to handle how we play. But I want our team to focus on what makes us hard to play against.